What about when it's like breaking? Is it always just like breaking news where you just have to jump up and?
A lot of it, yeah. And I mean, like, okay, with Jessica Chambers, yes, it was breaking. Yes, there were things that broke along the way, but I developed sources throughout that. I had investigators and family members and that kind of thing that I was always working at this level. But I mean, there were so many nights that I was up until 2 a.m. texting a source who had had too much to drink and was spilling his guts.
I was going to ask you,
You know.
did you make it like a personal thing? Like you find yourself like running across the city, using your own car, your own gas?
Oh yeah, well, and that goes without saying in a lot of places. But the thing that you find is, for me, like Jessica, in this case, there were 4 investigators. Well, if you include the DA. 3 investigators, one from the ATF, one from MBI, and one from the U.S. Attorney's Office. And they did all the heavy lifting, okay? And the DA was like the spokesman for the thing, for the investigation. But the Sheriff's Department, of course, it happened in Panola County, and it was a state, a local case. It wasn't a state or federal case. So the Sheriff's Department was the one that when people would talk about the investigation, well, Panola County Sheriff's Department was handling it. And they did have some investigators that did, some of the initial scene, that did some of the work. But these 3 guys did all the heavy lifting. They did the data analysis. They did the interrogation. I mean, all of it. They were the ones that did all the traveling. They went to places like Iowa and, Tennessee and Alabama and Louisiana on this case. These are the guys that did it. But you had an investigator for the Panola County Sheriff's Department that was going around telling the journalist, I'm the lead investigator. And so whenever they would talk about the case, the lead investigator on the Jessica Chambers case, blah, blah, blah. Well, by this point, I'd gotten to know these people, And so for me, part of the story was, yeah, you've got this whole case out here, but the people, the family, this team of investigators, the people that are affected by this every day. I had an investigator on that case tell me, my wife hates me since this case started. And I said, why? And he said, well, I mean, you can't deal with something this horrible without it changing who you are, And so apparently, he was just different because he was working on such a terrible case. So to me, the reason that I wanted to do that story right was because it went a little bit beyond just a story and just the pieces. Those people mattered. And not because, because what they did was important, but also because I was seeing the struggle that they had that you wouldn't see if you just read the stories, So that's why I made it my mission, really, to tell the story right. Because to tell it wrong did them a great disservice. And whether anybody ever knows their names or not, I want them to know that I did. So good question. Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you did the story of Lay Down.
Yes, yeah.
It's the rest of the level I could.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can read the story on Facebook.
Yeah, well,